input, they create a product which might be a finished good or which might be a work in process, which is basically an output of their department. So production itself is one of the business operations. Similarly, finance is business operations, warehousing is business operation, transportation is business operations. Now we'll see what is operations management. We have seen what is business operations, and then now we'll see what is operations management. So simply, operations management is a field or area of management which is concerned with designing, redesigning and controlling all the processes which are used for production of goods or services. So this is very simple. To manage entire business operations, we have certain processes. So to design this process, to redesign, revamp, re-engineer these processes, and to control these processes, every activity that is being done, that is nothing but the operations management. Now let's move to the next example. So on a screen you will see basically the business operations example, where you will see some inputs are taken, and if you see at the center there are two examples. You will see first manufacturing operations, where you will see the bottles are being manufactured, and in second example you will see car servicing is done. So both these examples are basically a transformation process, because in manufacturing operations they are turning some inputs into the outputs. So let's see what are the different inputs that they might be taking. So let's say to manufacture the bottles, you will need raw material, which can be bottle caps, which can be labels on the bottle, which can be body of the bottle. So all these forms a raw material. Then some inputs are also in the form of people, that means their skills and their efforts. And certain inputs are also like equipments. To run these machineries and to run these operations, certain equipments are required. Also you will see inputs in the form of intangible needs or in the form of information. So this is nothing but you will have some information to produce these bottles. So some information as in quantity that needs to be manufactured, color that needs to be manufactured, time that you need to complete your manufacturing. So all these are also your inputs. Similarly, in service operations, this example talks about car servicing. You will have input as in material, any raw material that is required to replace the car parts. You will also need people, you will also need equipments to service the car. You will need intangible needs or information, that means the request coming from customer, like what they have to do in the servicing of a car. Now we'll talk about output. So based on these two examples, you can see that in the first example, the tangible goods, that means a bottle itself is an output. The second output can be fulfilled request, that means a customer has given some request and we have fulfilled that request, that is also an output. Third is information. So information, it also is an output, because manufacturing, in the first example you will see the bottles are manufactured, but after the bottles are manufactured, some information also has to be produced, like how much quantity they have manufactured, how many lot numbers they have manufactured, what kind of colors they have manufactured. So this is an information which is an output. And ultimately every company works for satisfying their customers, so that is also an output of the transformation process. So in a nutshell, everything that you see around you is basically coming out from certain operations process, certain transformation process. So simply any book that you read or any video movie that you watch, your car servicing, your medical treatments, or let's say your computer, so everything that you see is coming out from certain business operations as a fundamental behind their existence. Now we have seen like there are two outputs of business operations. One is goods and second is services. So let's quickly understand the difference between goods and services. So we all know that in a nutshell, goods are basically a tangible, where we can touch them and we can easily feel them after we touch. Services are basically intangible in nature. Those are, we cannot touch the services, but we can feel the services. Then goods are basically produced in a factory or manufacturing setup or assembly line. However, services are produced in the interaction between buyers and sellers, because every interaction may vary. Goods can be stored, but services cannot be stored. And also one of the important differences, in case of goods, the transfer of ownership takes place from one person to another person or from one entity to another entity. However, the transfer of ownership in case of services is usually not available. The very important difference is also there, like quality control problems in the scenario of goods are less and can be easily measured, and the quality control problems in case of services are high and cannot be easily measured, because whatever treatment you take from doctor, you don't exactly know whether this was really a quality treatment, or whatever servicing that is done to your car, you don't know exactly how qualitatively this is done or how perfectly this is done. So quality control problems remains high in service industry, and these cannot be easily measured. So some examples of goods can be television, car, salt, soap, computer, furniture, and all things which you can touch. This is nothing but good. And some example of services can be insurance policies, insurance services that you take, hospital services that you take, then teaching services that you take, then telecommunication services that you take, broadband services. So these are all services. Now simply let's see what are few examples of different business operations. So we will see two examples.